Hello. Welcome back to my channel. This is Reality with DVD. How you doing? And I just wanted to come bring y'all some piping hot tea. Would y'all like some piping hot tea? Come on, let's start sipping that tea. Because I got a little something I want to say. Okay? Now, first of all, let's start this piping hot tea segment off with the fact that we have lost a musical icon by the name of Cissy Houston. Sissy Houston was 91, and she was the mother of the Whitney Nippy Houston child. But she lived a long, happy life. She was once a background singer for Elvis, and she also was a gospel singer. Now. People would say that's where Whitney got it from, but Whitney was an anomaly, okay? I mean, she was in a stratosphere all to herself, and, you know, we're going to keep it real now. We're going to keep it real. I didn't very much care for the way Sissy sung, okay? Because she sung like my grandma. Yeah. That kind of type of music did not thrill me in the least bit. But she did produce Nippy Child. And that right there for her, I have to give her much praise for producing Miss Nippy Houston. And I just want to say, they are together now on the other side, along with their granddaughter, Miss Bobby Christina. So, now let's get into the mess, child. Are you ready? Are you ready for the mess? We're going to talk a little bit about it. Every time there is mess to be talked about, there is Carlos King and his little show, as people call it, the little show called The Real Housewives. Did I say Real Housewives? There I go again with that. Love and Marriage Huntsville. Speaking of Love and Marriage Huntsville, I am totally behind on my recap for Love and Marriage Detroit. I'm ashamed to say, hell, I forgot it came on. Ain't that something? I'm not going to do that again. I'm going to try to get y'all that recap. I'm going to do 2 back-to-back episodes when I do the recap. It probably won't be that one. I probably do The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, since I am totally 3 episodes behind on those. But I have watched episode 1 and 2 on Real Housewives of SLC. That's one of my favorite shows. I will recap that just like I do Abbott Elementary if y'all didn't watch one video. Because I love the show. And I like to talk like Lisa Barlow. Okay? So, moving right along. Now, to the mess. Now, I was minding my own business, which I really was. And I was not expecting to see Carlos King down his, YouTube channel. Because, he's not a blogger, He's above us little old content creators. He's an executive producer and he's the king of reality TV. But yet still, he's always down here to the YouTube, okay? But anyway. He was talking about Love and Marriage Huntsville, and I just want to get right into the meat. I'm not going to talk about everything that he talked about, but I wanted to point out some things that he said about Dr. Heavenly and Melody, okay? So, what he said about Dr. Heavenly was that Dr. Heavenly probably won't be joining him again for the Missing Monday, because people were dragging her for talking about Melody. Now, I wouldn't say she was just really talking about Melody like that, because she would always preface it by saying Melody was her friend. But she would say things that seemed kind of shady. And for the Melody, you can't say, if Melody has on a bad wig, remember that bad wig she had on that day when she smashed that glass on Motel Hotel? Now, you can't even say she had on a bad wig. You cannot say nothing about Melody Cherie Rodgers. You can't say the ink is black on a piece of paper towel if she wrote on it. You can't do it. Don't you go talking about Melody Cherie Rodgers, because they will come for you. Okay? But she is on the show and not above reproach. But if you let them tell it, you are a pariah on these YouTube streets. If you say, fat meat greasy, and she ate some. Melody wasn't dare eat no greasy fat meat. Don't you dare say that about Melody Sharif. So she didn't eat no fat meat. But anyway, all jokes, people, all jokes, because I love Melody. But it will mostly be something like that. Now, Dr. Heavenly really reserved her real shade for her castmates. Why did Dr. Heavenly say you ain't gonna talk about her man? You ain't talk about her man or her business or her practice. Cause you talk about that practice and her business acumen, she got something for you. Talk about her man, she gonna talk about your man. And you don't want her to say things about your man, because she knows things about your man. So I assume she was talking about Scott and Dr. G. Now, we all know that it's alleged that Scott and Dr. G are smooths. And I suspect that they are as well. Especially since Kawhi say that her and Dr. G used to, throw them bows. Okay, so, but I don't know about Scott and Contessa, but he did seem very emotionally abusive. But I don't get why Dr. Heavenly was dragged by that, seeing as how they brought that shit to the show. Yeah. But anyway, Carlos said he, probably won't be joining her anymore. So he started talking about how he doesn't have any control over how they bring the shows back, because now Detroit is about to go on hiatus. Detroit had 4 episodes, y'all. Maybe 5. Who does that? Unless they're only going to get 10 episodes. And there was a rumor out there that says that Love and Marriage Huntsville was canceled because of the blackout and the low ratings and all this and such. But no time soon, people. Put your candles up. Your wishing candles. Put them up. Get them off your birthday cake. That show ain't going nowhere no time soon. Sorry. And besides all that, I still like the show. They was talking about how the Scotts was supposed to be getting a spinoff. Who cares? If the Scotts think they can carry a show with all that bullshit that they be bringing to Love and Marriage Huntsville, then please, by all means, try it. Let us see. The only thing that they could bring that may be somewhat interesting is Miss Wanda. And, that's really sad to say because she's a buffoon. I have never, in all my days of watching reality TV, saw anything like that. She was supposed to be like a Mama Jones, I guess, or a Mama D, or, what's that other one name? Mama Joyce. Oh, my goodness. Hey, Mama Joyce had the old lady game back in her though, so you see? But the point is, Wanda, and I never said this about people because I'm from the South. And I know how people have a tendency to think because of our Southern accents that we're not educated, right? But that's beyond a Southern accent. And that's why I'm embarrassed of Spectacious, right? Spectacious literally cannot talk. It is a difference between having a Southern accent and not being able to enunciate, or any other eights. It's horrible. But on the same token, before I started even recapping shows, I used to be like, yeah. I know that, a lot of people want to say something about the way she speaks, the way Letitia speaks, just, ignore it and deal with it. But if you're going to drag people the way Wanda Jane drags people, then you should be able to say the words that you are dragging people with. The person that she drags the most is Melody, and she can't even say Melody's name. She got Mella. Child. And I never get the expectations. That's why I call it expectations now. Some of y'all are coming on my channel being spectator, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And not hitting the like button or, going back and telling stuff. Yeah, I went back to tell stuff. You shouldn't have been up on the internet talking. You talk, I'm going to talk. Okay? Moving right along. Back to Carlos. So Carlos also said that somebody sent him a super chat now. I saw this with my own 2 big eyes. Somebody sent him a super chat. $2 super chat. And it said, are you and Melody good? Why wouldn't we be good was his exact words. And then he said, Melody and I are friends. That is my girl. She is the heart and soul of this show. Well, motherfucker, act like it. You ain't acting like it. You were letting Dr. Heavenly have free reign talking about your show. You were. And to me, that was not fair to Melody. And Melody, she clocked you on it. However, just by you saying that you are Melody's friend and y'all are good and all that, that's not gonna appease. That's not gonna appease the millimeters, right? You're gonna have to do more than put her on when she having that black and white suit that girl called her Corrupt DeVille in, but I love. You're gonna have to do more than that. Put a little prom crown on her head to appease them people. I'm just letting you know. So, this is what gave me the indication that he was speaking about me. Who else could he have been talking about? Somebody from my show, one of my shows, I saw the other day, is what he said. And they came up to me and said that they were listening to their fans. And those fans led them to say things about me. And then they apologized. Melody, now I know damn well you know better than to apologize to Carlos King. Nobody is trying to start beef between you all. But on the same token, listen to me, Melody. On the same token, I think that not only is this man envious of you, I think that he has a connection with your ex-husband that he continuously tries to bring to the show. For example, he tries to always bring out his softer side. Martel's a good guy. We all know Martel's a good guy. But you were looking right at him in Las Vegas with you showing off your little six-pack. You know how you had to take down Portia down to the Real Housewives of Atlanta when she got kicked in the hoo-hoo? That's the same thing you were going to have to do with Martel if you had been on that Las Vegas trip. I honestly believe that Martel was so mad at Melody because she outed him about trying to sleep with her that night that he would have hurt her. Because his main objective was to let people know that he didn't want her no more. Her main objective was to let people know that he did indeed want her. And that agitated him. And then when people say that Melody agitated him as well, no, she didn't really agitate him. He just could not take what she gave back to him. And that's the same thing that Melody has been dealing with on this show for a very long time. Love and Marriage Huntsville. And that's on the real. Carlos, I think you were talking about her. I think you are indeed envious of her. That's just my opinion. Now, remember, everything that's piping hot tea, with the exception of the death of Miss Sissy, is alleged in my opinion. And my opinion says that I can see in your eyes that, yes, you wanted her to be a star. Yes, you wanted the show to be successful. But the fan base that she has, you haven't seen in quite some time. You haven't seen that out of any of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Now, Nene has a large fan base, true enough, and they do want her back on the show. But the way that if you sneeze wrong in her direction, the way people come out of the woodworks for her, they just did not do for Nene. And you haven't experienced that type of vitriol from fans before. But what you need to do, all I can give you advice, I can give you advice now. You don't have to listen because you said you want to do anyway. But I'm going to tell you what I think. What I think you need to do is just back the fuck up. Stay out of the show's business, right? Other than being professional, and do your professional job as a producer. And if you do your professional job as a producer, then you won't have to worry about these millimeters coming out, setting you straight the way they do. All you have to do is say, like in those times when Martell is dragging Melody for no reason and dragging her back to court, you say, look, those are my employees and I like both of them. I'm not in that. Professionally speaking, the only thing I can say is that we'll talk about it at the reunion. That's my job. That's when my job ends. I send people in to produce them, and that's when my job ends. My job does not begin and end with Melody and Martell. Because what they're going through, again, it's not my business. Just like you said about the basketball wife and why they didn't go to Jennifer's wedding. I almost said funeral. Every time, that Freudian slip of the tongue that I always make with Jennifer. I always almost say that that's her funeral. It may be a spiritual funeral, if you will. Not one where she's laying in a casket in a beautiful gown. But like a spiritual death. Because I don't think that man is for her. But at the same time, you can do the same thing with your own show. Because you won't find favor in any of Melody's fans by saying that Martell is a good guy. Because we all know he's not. I don't see what it is about him that's still causing people to say he's a good guy. I don't. I really don't. But that's neither here nor there. If you love Martell, love on Martell in your own private way. Because as long as you coming down to your YouTube channel and saying things in his favor, you will get dragged. And you will say, oh, that don't bother me. I can take it. You cannot. You cannot. If you could take it, you could take it. You wouldn't be going all ballistic, low-key on your channel. Now, you can act like that it's not bothering you and you're not going ballistic, but you are. I'm a psychology major. Just like you said you were a journalist. I'm a psychology major and I majored in mass communication. So I can read people. Okay? I got a talent for it. And trust me, you are indeed bothered. Move right along. Now, also, I want to discuss Sonny just a little bit. Sonny, did you know, as a producer of LMAH, did you know the social media fanfare that goes on the show? I mean, you weren't ready, sis. You were not ready. And just maybe, you should have actually been more vigilant of the type of, I guess, social media fodder that goes on the show. More things that go on the show than behind the scenes. I mean, on the Twitter and the Instagram and the social media than what actually happens on the show. Sometimes we can see a social media story that never hits that show. if you watch the show. And here you come, a producer. And then you get dragged in the press. I guess you thought if you grabbed hold to Melody's coattails, then people wouldn't drag you. But the way you came on the show was messed up, sis. I don't care what you say. I don't care if Moses was just, screwing other women and Destiny was a side piece or whatever. The way you came on the show was scandalous, to say the least. And your karma is hitting you dead square in your big forehead. Shout out to you, Ashley Jr. That's what I'm start calling you from now on. Ashley Jr. Baby, that forehead vein Ashley got look just like Erica Miller. But anyway, the point is, the way you came on the show, that's why you're getting treated the way you're getting treated. I don't care if you did latch on the Melody's coattail. Well, the Melody's fans did get you a little, they threw you a little bone for a minute. First, they was like, they messed up what you did to Destiny. And then they say, no, they thought better of it. And saying, no, I'm going to stick with Melody and no matter what. No matter who she hangs around, as long as they cool and don't say nothing ever bad about her, I'm going to kick it with her. But baby, that minute that they switched it up on you and they see that you were acting cray-cray on the internet, I was like, even Melody can't save you. You don't want to be. You said she can't save you. And then, child, look. Did y'all know that the man went to jail just so he can film this show? Now, remember. Now, if you go back to the season where he didn't show up with Destiny on the reunion, she said that she was protecting him because he was on parole. Right? Y'all remember that? And now, because he was married to you, you drag him down to Huntsville, Alabama, and put his ass on the screen like Jennifer did to Christian. And they both went to jail. You see, you got to handle them criminals with kid gloves, in my opinion. You got to be careful with the criminals, sis. You got to be careful. You got to make sure, as my sister said about my nephew, you got to make sure they got them papers. You got to be moving them from state to state, country to country, and then the parole officers don't see them. That's not how any of this works. If they got that little bracelet around their ankles, and they still have to report to a PO every once and again, then you might want to just visit with them in the state they live in. Because I ain't even sure they can go from county to county without getting permission. That's just how serious these parole officers are. And you don't think they check social media every once in a while? Child back. Now, moving right along. And this is going to be the last piece of piping hot tea that I'm going to give you today. More LMAH news. And this is going to be quick and short and to the point. This judge is still playing with my top. Right? Melody, a lot of things that Melody put in her complaint that she was, she was responding. So actually Motel Hotel did the original complaint. So a lot of the things got stricken from the record from these complaints. But listen to me, Linda. Listen, Linda. All you have to do, sis, is just throw the whole thing out. My opinion, I'm telling you as a social worker, though, or as a former social worker, throw the whole thing out. Scrap this case. Scrap all their accusations against each other. And just evaluate Melody. When Melody had those kids for the 58 days when Martell was supposed to be going to get help, and I'm very serious at this point. I have a tendency to, throw in little jokes and stuff. But I'm serious. And when those kids were with her those 58 days, you should have been sending social workers in to evaluate her relationship with those children. And all you had to do to resolve all of this, I don't care how many times Motel Hotel took her back to court to get the 7 days on, 7 days off stuff. Now, Melody might like that. I don't know, because she works a lot. Because Motel Hotel, we all know he don't work. But if she didn't work a lot, like I said in my previous video, it would be best at this point to go ahead and put in order for 90 days, just 90 days, just for Melody to have primary custody of those kids and see how that works out. Because I believe that as long as he has those strong ties to her through those kids, that 7 days on, 7 days off, that little 7 days probably flies by so quickly. Next thing you know, she's back up in his face, or they have some kind of interaction with each other. The man has a restraining order against him. So, again, Judge, from my vantage point, and if I was a social worker on the case and you were sending me in the house for that 58 days, I would give you the recommendation. I've done it before. Do you recommend these children stay in foster care? Yeah, I went over to the home and the mother still wasn't doing her parenting classes. She still doesn't have gainful employment. I recommend 30 more days in foster care. I know what to do. Okay? And it wasn't a judge in sight that didn't take my recommendation seriously, because I went into the home and I was there. I wouldn't get 2 shakes of a rattlesnake's ass of Melody's position on the show, or Motel Hotel's position on the show. And that's a lot of the problem what's going on with you all, is that you all are getting wrapped up in this star shit. You have to put all that to the side, because I've had interaction with judges, the most racist of the racists, judges' grandchildren, doctors and lawyers' grandchildren, people in our community who you would be the most surprised about has very neglectful ways when it comes to their children. Okay? Don't ever think that somebody in a high up position don't have the potential to be a smoothie. Okay? I'm just saying. And if you send a social worker in to see what it was like in Melody's home, or what it was like in Martel's home, and all those times that he didn't have groceries, I can assure you no social worker worth her weight in salt would come out saying that, just from what I can see now. Because I don't see Melody on TV every 5 minutes, dragging Martel. Other than the fact that he put out the revenge pee on her, and he does deserve to go to jail for that, in my opinion. I mean, how can anybody still call him a good guy when he has done this to the mother of his children, to his wife at the time? Come on, people. Get with me on this. But as a social worker, had I been going into each one of their homes, I just would have been like, well, it appears, I would say good things about the mother, I would say good things about the father, but it appears that the mother is in a more stable position to raise these children. So I would suggest that you try 90 days to let her have primary custody and him only see these children on the weekend. Now, I'm just going to give a shout out to All True T. I think that's her name. Because she can drag those people on LAMH like it's nothing. I can't think of it. It's True something. True T. Anyway, she has gold stuff on her thumbnails. I don't agree with a whole lot of things she says. Let me just preface by saying that. But where I do agree on, because it seems like to me, nobody's ever seen her face. Okay? But it seems to me that she had been in a profession like me before, where you have to keep people's privacy, HIPAA laws, all that type of stuff, casework type stuff, because she seems to be knowledgeable in various areas with this case. And this is where I agree with her 100% on. Martell has reached his very, very breaking point. This is not TV shit. This is my very own opinion about this man. And I agree with her. I feel like that he's one of those that could snap at any time and harm her and those children. That's just my opinion. And that's also her opinion. I agree with her on that. Because I could see him cracking under pressure when he went back in that little tight suit and tried to grab those papers. When he attacked Melody's team. And they cut all that out of that reunion. Y'all, he's not wrapped too tight. And he's working on the short fields. He wants Melody. And the thing about it is, it's not that he just wants Melody. He wants to control her. He wants to control her in a divorce. Anytime. See, because men can hate their ex-wives. And usually when they hate their ex-wives to the point where they just won't have anything to do with them. Shout out to Deion Sanders. Because he's the bigger star, he has brought Pilar to the press and has her looking bad in the eyes of the press. But I used to watch their show faithfully. And I used to see his interactions with her. And I saw his interaction with Tracy Edmonds, and I was so glad that she finally left his ass. When you have an ego like that, and you have an ego like Motel Hotel, there's no telling what you're capable of. And you are sneaky and conniving, and you know how to talk fresh. And what I mean by fresh is when you need to. You know how to lay it on thick. That's that Kappa in you. You know how to make people think that you are unassuming and you won't harm a tick or a fly. But DVD, see you for your works. And with that, I'm going to close. Come on in. Like, comment, subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell button. You will be notified when I upload a video. Don't forget, like, comment, and subscribe. I'm only a few hours away from being monetized. Help your girl out. That, like I said, when I see that little, what you call it? That little, I would say that little buffering line. It's just teeter-totting in between subscribers and hours. Subscribers and watch hours. So, come on in. Do that for you, girl. Like, comment, subscribe to my channel. Seriously, I do need just a few hours in order to be monetized. I would love to be monetized. I love doing this. Don't even think that I don't. I love coming down to YouTube, being able to express my opinion, and I appreciate YouTube for allowing me to do so. And as I do, when I close, I'm going to chunk them up. Deuces.